So I've got my scan tool plugged in down here, just there. And what we're trying to do is we're just trying to get some communication to this car. But all it keeps saying is please ensure that the device is properly connected to the data link connector. Right, okay, so we've got a problem here. We need to scan the car because we want to know what's causing these lights to stay on. We've got an engine management light and an airbag light that we want to diagnose so we can get this car to MOT. But we can't do it because we can't communicate, so we've got no idea what the codes are. So what do? Well, first things first, before we can start our diagnostic, we need to do a diagnostic check on the data link connector or the Obdii 2 port that's on the car. So this is the data link connector. As you can see, mine looks fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's a bit old, it's a bit chewed up, but no corrosion, no nothing, no damage, no bent pins. So that's probably fine. And I use it all the time, so I'm not suspecting that. So what we want to do is have a look down here. And you see here, we have some corrosion in this top corner. So here is our Obdii port. So what we want to try and do is put some pins in here and just take a few measurements and see if we're getting some basic power and some ground so that our scan tool can function properly. So what I want to do first is get some pins in here. I'm just using some T-pins. You can use safety pins or whatever. So I want to go into this one here, pin 16. This one here is the main power. So pop a pin in there. And then I want to go for 4 and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 should be our chassis ground. So that'll be the main ground from the body. And then the one next to it is a signal ground, which is for the ECU. So what I want to do is put a multimeter on these two and see, are we getting battery voltage? So we've got our connector probed, we've got our multimeter on it, but my multimeter's auto ranging, but that is basically close to 0 volts. So we've got some connectivity, but just not enough. We should definitely be getting near enough battery voltage. So now we need to investigate, why are we not getting the voltage that we should have? So let's inspect the front here. So we can see that we do have some corrosion there inside the pins. See how they look a little rusty? Especially this one here. Looks particularly rusty. Does that surprise us? No. That is our power. So we've got corrosion on our power pin. And then these two here are our ground pins, 4 and 5, also a little bit rusty, but not as bad as this one. So what we'll try and do is get these cleaned up and then see if we get some power. But also, always make sure to do a visual inspection. I found this not hooked up properly. There's a special clip here that pulls out, and then when you push the Obdii port up into this relief here, you click that in. So it pulls out, it clicks in. Somebody's left it hanging here, and unfortunately that's caused some of the sleeving on the wires to come off. Or perhaps for another reason that I'm not aware of, but one thing's for sure, we will definitely have to sort that out, because those two wires are actually touching. See where it frays? It intermittently touches this red wire. We do not want that. So we have to get that resolved, and I'm pretty sure that they are they our power and grounds? It's our power, and yes, it is not a ground, but we still don't want them to touch. So we'll get that sorted now. So let's see here, let's just try and deepen this. How easily do these come out? Let's see if our pins can help us, which can be a bit tricky. There's usually a little tab in there that you have to push up to get the pin out. So because of the corrosion, I became worried about depinning it. The pins were just way too hard to remove, even with the safety tab. There's a little safety tab in here you have to depress, and you should be able to pull the wire out. They were pretty stuck, so I just cleaned it in situ and I've left that. So let's put the cage back in. Done and done. And now let's repair these two wires. So we'll start by cutting them both. And then before we get too far, we do not want to forget to put on a little bit of heat shrink. That's going to be tricky to get that on there, I think. Yes, it is. It's a bit long. Now we just want to slide down to there. Get the other end into there. And then crimp that bad boy together. So before we go too far with that, we definitely want to make sure that both ends of the wire are pushed in. Definitely got that one end in. And we'll crimp the other end. And again, just want to make sure that wire is pushed all the way in so we're making good contact. And then crimp that one also. And then we just want to do the little pull test. Pull the wire either end. Just make sure it's securely in there, which it is. Put our heat shrink over. And seal her up. Very good. Now we'll do the same thing with the black wire. So now that we have this repaired, let's test it out. Okay, so it's ignition on. And then let's see if we can get communication now. Nice, we got it. Oops, so let's just see if we can read the data trouble codes. And we can. Lovely. So that's good news. That was just a generic module. I'll do a full system scan now so I can carry on with my diagnostic, but just hopefully that'll give you a couple of little pointers on, you know, how to diagnose an OBD port if it's not working. It does need both power, both grounds, and in order to be able to have good communication with the control modules, all of the wires going to it need to be working. This is actually quite rare to find broken wires on the OBD connector. Corrosion is a little bit more common, especially if you've had something like this where the window's been down for a long time and moisture's been getting inside the car. That can be a problem, and I think that's why we were missing the power. But the two wires that we repaired are both signal wires, so that'll also affect the communication between different modules inside the car. So now that we've got it all sorted, you know, happy days, I can carry on with my diagnostic. But if your wiring is okay, but you're for some reason missing power, the most common thing is a blown fuse, and the fuse for these in most cars usually shares it with the accessory socket, which is the old school cigarette lighters where you plug in like a 12-volt accessory into it. So that would be the first thing to check, and hopefully that will sort you out. So I hope that this helps some people out if you're struggling to plug into your car, and that this will get you on the road.